Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you all for being here. I want to welcome you to, I believe this is my fifth town hall for the at-large, Place 8 at-large seat. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Junior Ezeonu. I've been blessed to serve on the city council for the last 4.5 years. I'm your current mayor pro tem, and we're going to have a really good night talking about some of the issues. Let me get away from the screen. Talking about some of the issues in our community, things we're working on, some upcoming projects. But before I get started, I want to make sure I allow our mayor, Ron Jensen, to come and say a few words. He has to head out shortly, so he'll say a few words, and then we'll go into the slides. Thank you.
See some friends. I want to recognize my good friend Stretch Rideau, who is now the board chair of the Parks Department. Stretch has held many offices, elected, paid, and otherwise. But I think, Stretch, I would say this is probably your favorite, being the park board chair. Maybe not. Maybe being judge was your favorite, but right now it's your favorite, and you'll do a great job. So, Junior is on you. 4.5 years? 4 3/4 years ago, I didn't even know who he was. Never heard of him. Certainly didn't know his sweet mom and daddy. Raise your hand. Out of the blue, a young kid just out of high school runs for office. I met him for the first time election day in this parking lot. Rebecca and I were driving around saying hi to those working the polls. I wasn't coming in and getting a count. He was standing out there campaigning, and I recognized him from the photos on his posters. Rebecca and I parked. I got out, went around, and introduced myself. Hey, Junior Ezeonu, I'm Mayor Jensen.
Nice to meet you again.
And this are the words I told him. I said, I've stayed out of the race. If you win, I know we can work together.
Sir.
Good luck to you today. I went back and got in my truck and drove off. Little did I know a few months later, that I would become good friends of Junior's. Right? Little did either one of us know. He's a very good council member. He replies. He's somebody I can call and talk about on any issue, and I know it will not go any further. I need somebody like that. Junior, I have something to discuss with you. And it'll just be between he and I. He's a good man. You raised a good son. I'm proud of him. I'm glad to serve along with him. Junior, you have a great night. You know why I have to leave, but I wanted to come to support you, but I need to leave, and we'll see you soon at another event.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's give him a hand. Yeah, we're very fortunate in the city to have a great mayor, Ron Jensen. He actually came on my podcast last week, and we had a really fun conversation about politics, about leadership, about service to our community. So I'm not going to do a plug for my podcast, but if you look at my name on YouTube, you'll find it. But again, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to do a few, just recognize a few people that are here. I know we have Judge Stretch Rideau. Raise your hand, Stretch. Yes, sir. He's on the Parks Board. I got my Parks Board appointee, Warren Landrum. Give Warren a hand. Let's see, who else do we have here? We have the Westchester Association of Homeowners president. Is it not president? Oh, okay, I'm making sure. He looked at me like it's not president. Mr. John Stewart. I'm like, oh, my bad, Mr. John Stewart. Let's give him a hand. We have our city manager for the great city of Grand Prairie, Mr. Bill Hills. We have our police chief, Daniel Cesney. Fire chief, Robert Fight. And we'll go a bit into the agenda, and any other elected officials come in, we'll recognize them. So thank you all again for being here. We'll go to the next slide. So this is the agenda. We'll go to the next slide. So I want to talk about some financial updates since our October 2024 town hall. Last year, I believe it was last year that I became the finance and government committee chair, and it's been a blessing. I think it was actually earlier this year I became the Finance and Government Committee chair. It's been a blessing to serve on the committee, to lead the committee now, and I want to give y'all an update on our financials for the city. So this year we have a balanced budget as we've had for a very long time, but this is very important for this year due to the fact that many cities in North Texas and the entire state of Texas weren't able to run balanced budgets, primarily due to sales tax not just being flat in some cities, but coming in smaller, coming in less than they expected. Property tax revenues coming in less than they expected, leading to cities like Arlington, I think Dallas, maybe, and a few other cities having to raise their property taxes to balance their budget. City of Grand Prairie ran a balanced budget. We didn't have to raise our property taxes. Praise be to God. I know y'all are very happy about that. So we didn't have to do that. Our property tax rate will remain in the fiscal year 2026 budget at 66 cents per $100 of valuation. Our homestead exemption remains at 17.5%. It didn't go up this year because we ran a balanced budget. We didn't bring in that much money extra on sales tax, so we just kept it flat. If we go to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about the homestead exemption. Raise your hand if you know about the homestead exemption. I believe most people will know about it, but let's say you don't. The homestead exemption for the city, so there's various different types of exemptions you'll have within the city government. You'll have a senior exemption, you'll have a senior tax freeze, you'll have a disability exemption, you'll have a homestead exemption that applies to everyone in the city that goes to the county and you apply for it, and it only goes to your primary residence, so your primary home, your homestead. For our city, on our side, we give our residents a 17.5% exemption, meaning that let's say your home is valued at $100,000. I don't think anyone's home is valued at $100,000, but let's say it is. The exemption would reduce your property tax taxable value to $82,500. So you're not being taxed on the full $100,000. You're being taxed on $82,500. Keep in mind, though, this is solely on the city portion of your property taxes. The taxes that you pay to the state, the taxes that you pay to the county and to the school district are separate. And I know that there's going to be a item on the November election this year to increase the property tax exemption for the school districts through the state. That's totally different. We have no input on that. That's through the state government and the school districts. So this is what we're doing to help you save money on your taxes. And in the future, when we're able to bring in more revenues and the economy picks up, we plan to reduce property taxes more, either through increasing our homestead exemption to 20%, which is the cap that the state government allows us to increase it to, or cutting the property tax rate. So that's how we balance the budget. Next slide, please. Something else that I like talking about is our Via Grand Prairie rideshare system. By a show of hands, who knows what Via Grand Prairie is? Wonderful. So most of y'all know what Via Grand Prairie. Via Grand Prairie is our microtransit rideshare system. It allows our residents to go anywhere within the city of Grand Prairie for $3 a ride. And for our college students or people that are teaching in college, like UT Arlington or DBU, Mountain View campus, or Dallas College, or TCC Southeast campus, it'll take you to TCC Southeast and UTA for $3 a ride. It'll take you to Dallas Baptist University and Mountain View campus with Dallas College for $4 a ride. It's very affordable, but within the city, it'll take you anywhere for $3 a ride. It operates from Monday to Sunday, 7 days a week. On Sundays, the hours are reduced, I think, to 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. But every other day is from like 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. It's really loved by our residents, by our community. Our seniors like it a lot. Our college students like it a lot. Our teenagers, and just people that maybe not able to drive. This is another opportunity for them. So some of our statistics for just this year so far, from January to the end of September, we had 116,747 rides completed, averaging about 12,972 rides a month. Our city really uses this program substantially more than other cities in our surrounding area. I know, like, for example, the city of Mansfield had the program for some time, and they were averaging about 500 to 700 rides a month. So we were really using it. It's utilized well in our city. Something that I do want us to work on in the near future is reducing our wait time down to 15 minutes. It was at 15 minutes for some time, but it's increased. And I think part of that is because VIA is used so much. And a lot of times the location that VIA is taking people to is UT Arlington, which is 20 minutes from the major parts of Grand Prairie. UT Arlington is actually the second most common destination for VIA riders, meaning that those college students, those teenagers, those young people are taking it to get to school. And this means a lot to me as a former UTA student, UTA alumni. We have any UTA alumni in the house? Okay, we got a few Mavs. Okay, I love it. We don't got a football team, but we do all right in school. We used to, that's right. But I love this because it gives an opportunity for people to get to school in an affordable fashion. $3 a ride to school, $3 a ride back. It's really good for our community, and I'm proud that we were able to get this done. Big thank you to our city staff, our transportation staff that helps push this forward and allow us to continue it. And hopefully we'll have this in our city for a very long time. Next slide, please. All right, let's talk about development. I know there's a lot of people that are happy about some developments and not so happy about others. So I'm going to talk about what you're happy about. I'm not going to talk about the bad ones. But we have a lot of economic development coming into our city, especially along the 161 corridor. We have Top Golf that should be built out by the end of this year. Radici, a very nice restaurant, came in along 161 on the backside near the Summit and near Chicken and Pickle. Check out Radici. It's very good. The chef that owns it is actually a big chef on TV, Tiffany Dairy. Have y'all heard of Tiffany Dairy? She's very popular, and the food is really good. It's Italian food. I think you'll love it. Check it out. We have Portillo's that just opened up a few months ago. Rosa's Cafe is building right now, finally. I know you guys have been asking for that for a very long time, and we have a lot more to offer. I just didn't have enough space on the screen to put it there. But when we talk about other development, some of our master plan communities that are currently being built out south of 287 and 360 in Ellis and Johnson County. Who knew that Grand Prairie was in Ellis and Johnson County? Okay, so a few of y'all knew that. Grand Prairie is not just in Dallas and Tarrant County. We are in Johnson and Ellis County. In the future, we might end up being close to Waco. Who knows? The city just keeps growing and keeps expanding. But we just annexed a good amount of acreage in both the Goodland and Lake Song developments. Lake Song has about 1,800 acres. Bill, am I correct? Somewhere near 1,800 acres. Goodland has 5,000 acres. The Goodland annexation, we annex only specific portions of it because we have a developer's agreement where we're going to annex the whole thing over 30 years as long as the developer holds up their end of the bargain because we can't pay for everything on our own. But the Goodland community is south of 287 and 360. It's very interesting how it's shaped down there because many of the people that live there, their students, their kids will be going to school in either Midlothian ISD or Venus ISD. They'll be within the city of Grand Prairie, but their students will not go to school in GPISD or Arlington or Mansfield ISD, which a good amount of Grand Prairie students go to. Same thing with Lake Song. Lake Song will be solely in Ellis County. Students will go to Midlothian ISD. So those are the developments we have, and they should be built out next 5 to 10 years to probably 80, 90%, and then over 30 years more. Let's to the next slide. Now I want to talk about some community engagement. As many of you all know, I love our community, I love our city, and I try to have fun things for people to come out to engage, but also to give back. So every year I do a community picnic and school supplies drive. If y'all have never been to my community picnic, you're missing out. We got a lot of good food from different cultures. This summer when we had it, we had Caribbean food from a Caribbean vendor. We had Nigerian food. My mom made some really good food, not just Nigerian food. My mom made some crazy pasta. If you ain't had my mom's Cajun pasta, you're missing out. It's amazing. It's amazing. That's my mom right over there. We have American food, obviously. We have a lot of food from different cultures, and we try to bring people out, allow people to meet their neighbors, have fun. We have the bounce houses for the kids. We have snow cone trucks from local Grand Prairie vendors. Even sometimes we have face painting. It's a good time for the entire community for us to get to know our neighbors and have a good time in the summer heat in Grand Prairie, Texas. But something else that we do with this community picnic and school supplies drive is we do a school supplies drive where we collect school supplies to give to a school that's based here in Grand Prairie. Every year I go back and forth between a Grand Prairie ISD school and an Arlington ISD school, since those are the two major school districts that serve our underserved communities. I don't do Mansfield ISD just because Mansfield ISD is generally more wealthier on average. But this year we chose West Elementary. Last year we chose Morton Elementary and GPISD. This year we chose West Elementary in the city of Grand Prairie, but Arlington ISD collected hundreds of backpacks, school supplies to support the students going back to school, helping the educators. And it was so cool because the principal, lady standing right over here, actually came to the picnic and ate the food and spoke to the residents and the guests and just had a really good time. So I want to encourage you, don't miss it next year. It's a good time and it's free food. You ain't paying. It's free food. There's no alcohol though, so it ain't no alcohol for y'all. But it's free food. It's a good time. And this summer, it actually wasn't that hot. It was like 80 degrees when we had it. So you missed out on a good time, but I hope to see you there next year. For next year, it'll be in August. I couldn't tell you a date. I got to look at the calendar, but it's going to be in August for sure. And I'll push it out and y'all see it on social media. But those are my updates. Thank you all for one being here, but for giving me the opportunity to serve our city for the last 4.5 years. This is a labor of love to me. That's what I call it. This is a thankless job. It's a job we don't get paid to do, but you guys live in this community. You care. That's why you're here. You email me whenever there's an issue. You call me whenever there's an issue. And if I'm not doing my job, you call me out. And that's what I expect. I expect the accountability. So I want to just say thank you so much for the opportunity to serve our community. I look forward to continuing to serve our community and being your advocate at the council. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to allow all the different department directors to come up and speak about their particular departments and some updates and things going on. And at the very end, we'll save time for Q&A. We should have at least 45 minutes to maybe an hour for Q&A. So sit tight, and thank you so much for the opportunity. Next up, thank you. We actually have economic development up. Is Director Tony Gonzalez here? Thank you, Tony. Huh? So I said Gonzalez. Tony Ramirez. Let's give Tony a hand, please. Thank you, Tony.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and it's good to see you. My name is Tony Ramirez. I'm the Economic Development Director at the City of Grand Prairie. A little bit about the department. So the Economic Development Department is the group that helps to engage and stir development by talking to companies and having quality conversations, making sure they have access to data and information that's important for them to make a decision to invest in Grand Prairie. I know earlier we talked a little bit about some of the recent openings, and you could see this. I won't go through each one of these, but we get a lot of questions about when is BJ's Wholesale opening. So one, BJ's Wholesale is kind of like a Costco. Their description is they don't sell large lot sizes like a Costco, and it's supposed to be a lot more healthier options to eat. So more fresh produce, and things like that. They are targeted to open mid-year 2026. So keep your eyes on that as well. Under construction right now, here's a list, and we're really excited. Rosa's Cafe is also one that we get asked about all the time. We did meet with the project manager recently, and he did mention they're trying to shoot for Q1, which is sometime in January, February, or March. So keep your fingers crossed for that. We can go to the next slide. Top Golf also is going up. To nearby here in the area, we got Frostbank and Stop and Go Gyros. So this is one of the fastest growing regional concepts, and we're really fortunate to have them select Grand Prairie for their new shop. So we're looking forward to that as well. That is all I have for today. If you have any questions, so happy to answer, or yeah, as well. So I'll turn it over to the Chief. Thank you very much.
Tony, I was hoping you were just going to keep right on rolling when my slide came up. It's hard to go after roses, but I'm going to do my best. Okay, so really happy about where we are sitting right now at the Grand Prairie Police Department. We've been collecting data for since 2010. And back then, our crime looked a lot different than it does as I'm sitting here now. As I'm before you right now, crime is at its lowest point it has been since we've been counting. Full stop. Yep. I'm really excited about that because we've got a really great team that puts together a lot of innovation. I want to just touch on that really quickly. So the traditional policing model is a citizen will call the cops. We show up, we take a report, we hand it over to detectives, and we go to the next call for service. That is not a very effective way of policing. If to police correctly, you should get further upstream and prevent crime before it happens. So we have a very evidence-based policing approach. I would have to issue everyone in here a pocket protector to get into the weeds here. But the long and short of it is there's a doctor, an academic named Dr. Christopher Coper, if you need to read a study and help you go to sleep, that says that if you put a police officer into an area that for 11 to 16 minutes, you deter crime for up to 2 hours. And I didn't say displace crime, I said deter crime. So we have mapped out our entire city. We've created sites, and our 10 highest drivers for calls for service, we push squad cars into those areas for 11 to 16 minutes every 2 hours. In fact, one of my watch commanders is back there with the TCU shirt on, not a Maverick shirt, by the way. I said it. And he could tell you all about the specifics of our strategy. But our watch commanders monitor the officers. They make sure they're pushing into our sites, and the results have been absolutely phenomenal. We are by far the lowest crime of anyone around us. So it's really, really impressive, and it's because of the hard work of guys just like Des Moines. The biggest issues we're still facing, however, oh, by the way, one last thing, even though I mentioned we've really dropped crime, as you know, our population has surged. So since 2010, we were around 170,000. I don't know. My guess is we're probably close to 220 now, and yet we're still lowest crime since we've been counting. So really happy about that. Thank you. Okay. One of the biggest challenges we're still facing is no one in this room, but a lot of people you know have lead foots in Grand Prairie, and they speed. So to address that issue, we have started a program called Focus, where our officers have the ability to come in and work off duty and target areas, not just of citizen complaints, but where we have crash data or speeding data. Sometimes we'll put out speed trailers to kind of catch where those challenges are. I will tell you, though, when we get complaints from our citizens, spoken to some of you, hey, can you get into our neighborhood and stop the speeders? We absolutely do. And then we get the call back that the caller got a ticket or their neighbor got a ticket. So just know when you call us, we're going to come, okay? And then, of course, we've got some challenges with growth down south. The council member mentioned Goodland and those areas. We're just expanding out there. So when I say challenges, with more people comes, as you can imagine, more challenges. Particularly on 287, we have had some really bad crashes down there. And I know TxDOT has been fantastic about trying to accelerate some solutions to the issues we brought forward. Next, I want to touch on code, I think is my next slide. Yep. So my assistant director, Ryan Simpson, it's his little baby daughter's birthday, so he got a pass tonight. So I'm going to cover code for him as well. But one of my code rock stars is here, the manager, in case we have questions. Here, let me tell you something I'm really proud about code enforcement. If code enforcement is doing everything correct, you never notice. It's when they're messing up that we get the calls, right? It's really kind of a thankless job. So I want to draw a contrast for you about things you probably aren't seeing much in Grand Prairie, and attribute that to the hard work they're doing. You may notice when you go into other cities, every time you pull up to a stop sign, there might be somebody over there trying to get you to give them money, or there may be a sign out there to sell your ugly home or to hook up internet. Everybody know what I'm talking about? I bet you're not seeing those in Grand Prairie, correct? That's a quality of life issue. So our code enforcement team is very, very proactive. It's a violation of the code. You can't solicit from the roadway. They're great at that. And they also pick up what we call bandit signs. That's why they have pickup trucks that go around, and they're getting those picked up off the road, so that way when you have family come into town and you want to drive them to your house, you know, they're not being solicited 42 times for internet and whatever else. They're really kicking some tail on inspections out there. These stats speak for themselves. Our vehicles tow numbers are coming down, but that's just because they're on top of it, and they're writing tickets. Our tickets look a little bit different in code. Our goal is not to earn revenue. Our goal is to gain compliance, because if your neighbor is out of compliance, you don't care if they got a ticket. You just want them to cut the grass, right? So our goal is to get them, we kind of hold that over their head and say, if you don't cut the grass or else, and most of the time they do. If they don't, they'll get a civil citation, which is, I don't know, $30 to $35, exactly what I was just about to say. And then really we reserve the citations, the big citations, like the stop sign level or the red light level. We can still write you a citation like that. It's a more expensive, but you got to be pretty thumbing your nose at the code officer. So that's my presentation, and I think we're going to entertain questions afterward, and I'll be in the back. And notice I made no fireman jokes at all. None this time. I didn't insult you even a little bit, so I expect no retaliatory strikes.
Thank you, Chief Cesny. Well, welcome. My name is Robert Fight. I'm your fire chief. Been here about 13 years. Time really flies. I want to talk real briefly about the fire department. Fire Station 11 opened at 287 and 360. Just want to put this in perspective. From where we stand right here, it's 16 miles. And you could go 16 miles from here to DFW Terminal B. From right here is how far Station 11 is, that far down south. If you went from Fire Station 11 to Fire Station 2 on the east side of Grand Prairie, that is 31 miles. Think, okay, what is 31 miles? Anybody know where Richardson, Texas is? That's 30 miles from right here. So that's how far apart our fire stations are. I love building fire stations. I did not love building Fire Station 11. It challenges everything we do. In the fire department, we overpower our obstacle with strength and big apparatus and a lot of water and a lot of people. When you have a fire station that far south down by themselves, I can't do that. So we now have working agreements with Midlothian. We have a working agreement with Mansfield. So I don't know if anybody is from Green Hill Trails or down south. You may have a Mansfield fire engine show up at your house instead of Grand Prairie. It's just the way we're working down south. But we needed it. We wanted to keep our ISO 1 rating. I want to encourage all of you, if you own a home or own commercial property, when you get home tonight, over the weekend, you're thinking about it, pull out your declaration page of your insurance and make sure you have an ISO 1, or it'll say Public Protection Class, PPC, and it should be a 1. You deserve the lowest homeowner rates possible because your city has an ISO 1. We had this very town hall in this very room with Councilman Johnson, and we found out that somebody had an ISO 10 because their California Progressive Homeowner Insurance refused to acknowledge Fire Station 11 existed. So I got involved, we got involved, and tried to show Progressive there's a brand new fire station down there, so they do deserve an ISO 1. It's important for you to know, so that's why I brought it up. Citywide, we have 11 fire stations. We operate with 8 ambulances, 11 fire engines, because there's a fire engine at every station. And then we only have 3 ladder trucks. The big ladder trucks, they are strategically placed throughout the city. If you think how long and skinny we are, they're sort of right down the center of the city. We do have 8 ambulances. Thursday through Sunday, we bring in an extra ambulance and just put it on overtime because that's our busy time. We are responsible for fire, EMS. We do special operations like hazardous materials, dive, wildland. You think, why would Grand Prairie need a wildland team? We really don't for our city, but we're part of a bigger response in the state of Texas. And we've had our teams in Amarillo. We went to California. The state pays us back. The federal government pays us back. So it doesn't cost you any money, but it provides training for our firefighters and opportunities that they just don't get here. Also, if you think about Grand Prairie, airport, lake, horse track, I-30, I-20, 161, 360. We have unique challenges that most cities don't have. And then you add the length and the width of our city, it makes it very interesting to be a firefighter. I'll be here. If you have any questions on EMS or anything we do, we'll do questions at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening. My name is Kelly Edelman. I'm the Administration and Community Engagement Manager for the Parks, Arts, and Recreation Department. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Normally, our Director, Ray Serta, would be here to speak with you all tonight, but he wasn't able to make it, so he asked if I could come and speak on his behalf. We have a big department with a lot going on, but we have a few things we wanted to tell you about tonight. First is the Friendship Park pickleball and tennis court renovations that are now complete. We opened those about a month ago, and if you're a pickleball player, you've probably been there already. If you are and have not been there, you should definitely get out there and check it out very soon. It's a great facility. We've got 4 dedicated pickleball courts that you can kind of see over on the left-hand side. And then we have a tennis court that, when not in use, can be used as 4 additional temporary courts. So at times we have 8 pickleball courts going at all times. And then the facility is still lighted as it was before, and those go through midnight. We also have benches and other nice park amenities out there, like the nearby restroom, the pavilion, the playground. Great place to go visit if you hadn't been there yet. So we were excited to open that up. And the next is, this is one of the areas that I oversee for our department, is our special events. And we've got some really exciting special events coming up. One being Main Street Fest, which used to be in the spring. Now we've moved it to the fall. So that's coming up October 24th, 25th, and 26th. That's a Friday through Sunday in downtown Grand Prairie. If you've been before, it's going to be even bigger than it's ever been in the past. Last year we expanded it. This year it's even bigger. We're actually taking in Main Street again. So we're really excited about that. We have some great headliners scheduled. Friday night, we're going to have the Jacksons. Saturday night, yeah, they're going to be fun. Saturday night is Lone Star, and Sunday is David Lee Garza. So we think those 3 headliners for each night are going to really bring the crowds, and we hope you all can join us there. More information on that at mainstreetfest.com. And that's a free event, free parking, free entry. If you want food or you want to buy something from a vendor, of course, you got to pay for that. But we're proud to be able to offer that free to our residents. We also have Street and Treat coming up downtown on Halloween night from 5 to 9. That's just a great, safe event for you to bring out, your kids, grandkids. Come by yourself if you want, whatever. It's fun for everybody of all ages. And that's in the downtown area at the City Hall lot. And then it's not on the screen, but we have Prairie Lights coming up. We are already setting up for that event. This is our 20th anniversary that we're celebrating this year. So we hope you all come out and see us there from Thanksgiving through New Year's Eve. And then finally is our Parks, Arts, Recreation, and Open Space Master Plan. This is the plan that our department does every 10 years. The current one is expiring this year, so we are well underway of developing the next 10-year master plan with our consultants. You may or may not have been involved in some of the input meetings we had this spring. In fact, we had one here in this facility. If you missed that, or even if you did come, we're having more input meetings this November, the 11th, 12th, and 13th at those 3 facilities. We hope you can come. There's still opportunities for you to come and give us your input. Even if you came before, you'll hear some updates from our consultants, and you'll be able to kind of give feedback on that. So it's not too late. We really do want your input and feedback on that. And all that information is available on our website at grandfundgp.com. So any questions, I'll be happy to answer those after the meeting. Thank you all. Main Street Fest is Friday night from 5 to midnight, and then it's all day long Saturday until midnight, and then Sunday is 12 to 8. Yep. Thank you.
All right. Good evening. Thank you. My name is Patricia Redfern. I'm the City of Grand Prairie Solid Waste and Recycling Director. Woohoo! Thank you. We love to talk trash. I'm here for it. Okay. We got a lot going on. It's an exciting time to be in the garbage industry, let me tell you. Okay. Well, we are working diligently to bring garbage carts to the City of Grand Prairie. Yes, it is time. Let's just say it. Okay. And that is the way the industry is going, and it's a good idea. So currently we have 3 years left on our contract. So we have not painted ourselves into any kind of a corner. We've got all the room in the wide world for negotiation, and we are diligently negotiating that contract. So that has to do with pricing, that has to do with contract language, and that has to do with all of the devil in the details about what cart, how many carts, all of the things. What can you fit in the cart? When does all of your stuff get picked up? What does that look like? So there's going to be a lot of information coming along, but we don't have all of it nailed down yet. So I want to excite your anticipation a little bit without going crazy. Okay, good deal. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is the community garden program. So I know you're wondering, why does solid waste do community gardening? But we do, and we love it. We've got Keep Grand Prairie Beautiful. We have 6 community gardens, and they're spread out all over the city. I've got giveaways. One of them is the addresses of all of the gardens. Most of them, except for one, have open beds. So please do not hesitate to dial the number. We've also got a whole bunch of gardening classes coming up: Compost 101, Shade Makers, hands on workshop pruning shade trees. Then we've got one of my favorite annual events coming up. It sounds silly, but it is wonderful. And it's called Seed Swap. And this is our 3rd annual Seed Swap. So if you are a gardener and you've got all of your plants are starting to quiet down now and seed out, you can bring those seeds in and swap. You don't have to bring seeds. You can come in and just pick up whatever you like. We have a whole bunch of different vendors. We have a bunch of freebies. We've got door prizes all throughout the event. It's actually held here at the library. It's in December. It's on December 13th, but it's just a neat time with your community. So please do not hesitate to stop by for that. Now, the other thing that I have the calendar. I have the magnet on the calendar because we're still having some trouble with the holidays. I don't want to bring it up. It's a painful topic. But this will help you work that out. We're not having any problem with the day after the holiday. We're just having a little bit of a hiccup with all of the days of that week, right? Okay, we can say it. We're among friends. Okay, but these will help, and this will take you all the way through the end of December 2026. Okay? All right, good deal. That is about all I have. I'll be here for questions. Good to see you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Noreen Haushrei. I'm the Director of Engineering and Utility Services. I'm just going to go over some of the exciting projects we have going on in the city right now. I'm going to start with the ones we have under construction. So the first one I want to talk about is South Bend Boulevard. It was formerly Davis Road. It's about to be complete. It's down south, kind of close to Greenway Trails and Heritage Town. We're just doing the final cleanup. There's some irrigation, some lighting, some things to finish, but that one's about to be done. That was a realignment of that road. That should be done by the end of this year. The other project is a Heritage pump station. Now, a pump station has to do with water, just pump water. That is also down south. That is off of kind of close to, again, the north side of Greenway Trails. That is also substantially complete. It's been working for over a year. We're just finalizing some minor things so we can take it over. So we have to finalize with the contractor to take it over, because it's then our obligations if anything goes wrong. So we're at that point of that project. Now, a newer project that just started is more up north, the Tarrant Road at Arbor Creek. That is a culvert that had sidewalks that were kind of falling into the creek. So we are building a bridge structure, raising it up so it doesn't overtop anymore, and adding sidewalks. So that is currently, the road is, if it hasn't been closed, it's about to be closed while they do the bridge, and we're going to try and get it open by the summer. So the next slide. So also in construction down south, we call it the Phase 3 water line. This is connecting a water line from where it ends down on Davis Road, kind of where that old gun range was, down across the highway to Prairie Ridge, where the Goodland Parkway, the Goodland development is going. So that is going to connect so we can get more water pressure to that area. And what goes along with it is on Lakeview, is a 2 million gallon elevated storage tank. This picture was taken just a few weeks ago. They're about to start painting. This will get raised. If you ever get excited about something like that, they'll paint it, get it set, and then they'll raise it all the way up and start finishing the welding. And we should have that completed before summer. So that will also add to pressures and everything down south to help support all the development that we're getting down there. That's last one on this slide is the Lake Ridge lift station. Now, I told you pump station water. Lift station is wastewater. Does anyone know what a lift station does? It's in the name. Yeah, so most wastewater systems are gravity fed. So you have all the wastewater going down in gravity. Well, the topography changes. You can only get so deep. So the lift station actually lifts all of it up so you can start all over again. So that's what it is. And this lift station is the largest in the city. We have a lot. It's been there for a while. So we've just completed a new wet well, completed some new pumps, bypass pumps, and we're about to do the roof. And then after that's done, we're going to do a new electrical building. So that's why it's spreading over a few years, because it's multiple projects to finish up this lift station. This, like I said, this is our largest lift station in the city. Next slide. So these are some projects that are in design right now. This is Davis Road Phase 2. This is kind of adding to the one that we're just finishing. It's in design. So this will widen this section here. It'll bring it down to St. Paul, but we're also extending a wastewater line all the way down to Soap Creek, and that's where there is a TRA line, a Trinity River Authority line. So that will help with the wastewater system down south as well. Another project is this 8S water line. This will connect the water line that is in 287 to a water line that's about to go to construction on Miller Road. So again, all these are going to support all the development down there and make our community ready for all these new homes and all the new business that are coming to the city. Next slide. These two are also in design. There's a Duncan Perry at Johnson Branch. This is a realignment and a raising of a bridge. This is a TxDOT project with us. So TxDOT actually is taking the lead. We're just have a small participation in the project, but this will also, widen, add sidewalks, raise it out of the floodplain, and realign the road so it doesn't curve anymore. And then the final one on my presentation is the Shady Grove roadway improvements. We just started the design within the last year. It's going to have 2 large bridges over Bear Creek and Dry Branch. It's going to widen the road to 3 lanes with shoulders and sidewalks, because there's a lot of turn and movements in there. So you'll have that continuous turn lane throughout that corridor, and 2 newer bridges. And that's it for my presentation. And I will be available for questions afterwards. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carol DeVries, Director of Transportation and Mobility Department. And I want to talk a little bit about working with TxDOT and some of these other outside agencies, NCT COG and TxDOT on these type of freeway projects. And we've been talking about down south. I know the chief was talking about some of the accidents and things. So the northern section from 360 to 287, I say that sounds southern from here, but it is north when you go all the way down to the cities south of here in Midlothian. That section is within Grand Prairie, and the schematic designs have been completed, but that's on a TxDOT time schedule, so it's not nearly as quickly as you would think. This project's going to focus on constructing future grade separated crossings at the various established cross streets, the major cross streets along 287, which this initial phase is crucial for the safety and the traffic flow down there. The interim improvements that are going to begin soon are things like closing median breaks, putting in maybe another Michigan U-turn. TxDOT's very aware of what's going on down there, and they're going to be doing some things in the meantime. So, but the long term, building those initial frontage roads and getting the grade separation is really what we're looking for. Also 360, the next extension from 287 to 67, because right now it ends at 287. They're looking at potential alignment options that are in review, and this will be another NTTA project, so another toll road. That's how they're able to extend it. However, the project is recommended for future funding on the COG planning process, which is always good. You want to have this out there and on their radar to pull that in. We're working with NTTA and the Goodland Development on what those alignments could be right now, what the potentials. Another big project going on in transportation is a citywide Grand Prairie Bicycle Master Plan. It's been going on for about 10 months now, looking with all of the stakeholders, if you will, people that ride bicycles, people that are just citizens, people that are just interested, people that bike with the mayor, people that bike for recreation, or they're in triathlons. I mean, we've been talking to everybody. And they're trying to find where those disconnects are, connect things together, have some continuity, have some flow, connect to adjacent cities, things of that nature. Starting as early as next week, we are going to be talking about this process with their council committee. So they'll start getting the details from all of this work that's been happening on the past 10 months. And so this is the website here. I can take a picture of it, or I can get it to you afterwards if you'd like. For any information on it so far and going forward, this is where it will be kept with the consultant's website. And I think Junior stolen a lot of the thunder on VIA because it's one of his favorites. But I'm going to go all the way back to where we started, which was April of 22 to now. We've completed over 479,000 rides. And currently active riders that are enrolled, over 37,000 people. Like he said, base fare is $3. Seniors are $2. I think you left that one out. And college and hospitals, which I'll get more in detail, is $4. Hours of operation, Monday through Thursday, 6 to 9, Friday and Saturday, 6 to 10:30, Sunday, 6 to 2. And you can either call this number, or this is the symbol. If you download the app, it looks just like this. There's VIAs in other cities, so get this one. And then let's go into some of the additional services on the next slide. So the $3 trips is the West Irving train station, Tarrant County Community College Southeast Campus, and University of Texas at Arlington. And then the $4 are Dallas Baptist University, Dallas County College Mountain View, Medical City Arlington, USMD Hospital, and Methodist Mansfield Medical Center. So we've got these 3 hospitals as well that are options. But like you said, they are further, so they're a little bit more. And I'll be here afterwards if you have any questions on transportation. Rashad. I think Rashad is next.
Thank you, ma'am. Rashad Jackson, Planning and Development Director. We'll talk about planning and what we have going on as far as development is concerned. Mayor Pro Tem has already kind of, as Carol mentioned, stole some of the thunder, but yeah, it's the positive. We got a lot going on. So Goodland and the Lake Song area. So we call this area the Southgate area. The hope is at one point, people will see this area similar as they see Las Colinas to Irving. It's a city within a city. Of course, we still want this to be known as GP, but keep in mind that this is a 30-minute ride from here. So a lot of people may not even come up this way. So with that, we're creating town center down there and investing a lot of time with regard to infrastructure and utilities down there. One of the first things I noticed when I got here in 2020 was the significant opportunity for development and the planning that would be needed for this area. And I spoke with my boss, Mr. Hills, and he gave me the goal to do some planning for this area. And that's where we are. 5 years later, we got Huff Farms Development, Lake Song, 2,700 acre development north of 287. We probably have about 20,000 people in this area north of 287 in this subdivision alone. Noreen and Carol spoke to the stormwater drainage and wastewater infrastructure that's being put in place, as well as the road construction design statuses. TxDOT is fully aware of all the traffic down there, and they're aware of the accidents and concerns noted by the existing residents. Working on some solutions there. Next slide. South of 287 is Goodland. So this developer, Provident, was one of the first to actually contact me, and they have been actively purchasing property. They now own 5,000 acres, pretty much everything south of 287 at the 360 intersection. That's all them. We have annexed portions of that area. Keep in mind, majority of the area was already developed under a development agreement called Prairie Ridge. They are now going to have that Prairie Ridge be a village within the overall Goodland development. So they're going to have other pockets of residential development on the Ellis County side. And then on the Johnson County side, you're going to see a town center. We'll probably have a campus. We haven't figured out all the details of the internal workings of that, but definitely want people not to have to drive all the way up here for a permit and things of that nature. So it's gonna, the Goodland people, Provident, are looking to, this is a small town, charming area with the infrastructure, and they have ideas of wedding venues, 360 extension. They're fighting to have 360 go on the far western side of this. So there's, of course, if that happens, I'm talking 15 years down the line, that will be another spark, similar to how 161 was a spark here north of us. It'll be another spark for this area, and it's no telling what could be developed along that corridor. All that said, we're doing additional planning. This is the Southgate area. We did a plan, as I mentioned, back in 2021. Mr. Hills gave me the go to do that. We are now doing phase 2 of our comprehensive plan update. Next slide. And it's called the Epicenter Plan. So as I mentioned, this area was the Southgate plan. The Epicenter Plan is going to go from the lower limits of Joe Pool Lake all the way up to Pioneer Parkway. So our city is approximately 26 miles long, 8 miles. Each area has its own character and aesthetic. So we looked at this as, let's segment this into 3 cities, an area that's highly developed, the southern area is growing, and of course the northern area is developed, but it has a lot of industrial components to that. So what one person might want down south, they may not necessarily agree with what's wanted up north. So we're going to get the input. We started this in August. We're going to get the input for this specific area. We have a project website. We've already done some Facebook posts and received some engagement from that. We had the team out at National Night Out, September 20th. And the upcoming engagements, we are again on the project website. There's a community survey. We've spoken to property owners throughout this area, the vacant properties, the commercial and retail properties that are vacant, to definitely get an idea of what they're planning so we can plan and what they're wanting, and maybe hopefully guide them in a direction that the citizens would like the area to develop. With that, we also talked and sent notice to our HOAs and PID boards. But again, the citizens can provide their input through this community survey, the project website, and we're having a public open house at City Hall on October 30th. And we're going to work our way south. The next time we have a meeting will be November 13th here at Betty Warmack. And then we're trying to work and try to get a facility down near the Miralagos area for the 3rd meeting. This is going to be a 10-month project. We just ramped up, started off. So again, we are looking for your input. Next slide, or we can play the video if you like. I'll have these cards sitting out on the table. You can grab one of these, you use the QR code or go to this website to get to the project. And again, it's interactive. You can use the website as a GIS map, pinpoint locations of concern, provide your input, or participate using the survey that's on the website as well. That's all I have.
Thank you, Rashad. He does a great job with our planning department. On this next slide, and before we get into the Q&A section, I want to make sure that you guys are able to stay connected with the city. You can follow the city on Facebook, on Instagram. If you scan that QR code, it'll populate it on your phone, and you'll be able to go and stay connected with the city on that. Is the QR code also the one that has the alert GP, or the next one? Next slide. Cool. Y'all want to scan this right quick just so you'll be able to follow the city and get updates on what we're doing.
information on all those sites the same?
On Facebook and Instagram, yes, ma'am. Oh yeah, and if anybody knows people in the community that weren't able to come in person or watch it on YouTube, this presentation, all of this is being recorded on that great camera right over here. It's going to be on the city's website under my tab. So if you go on the city's website, you click on City Council, Mayor, City Council, you click on Councilmember Ezeonu, you'll see this thing and you'll be able to replay it and share it with your neighbors if there's valuable information that you want to share on. Over here, we have our Alert GP system. By a show of hands, who knows what Alert GP is? Wonderful. So Alert GP, for those that don't know, is our way of mass communicating with our residents. If there's ever an issue, a public safety hazard, or if there's a major storm coming, Alert GP will not only shoot you a text, it's also going to call you. Fair warning, it will call you at 3 or 4 a.m. because it's called me at 3 or 4 a.m. So just be ready, put your phone on Do Not Disturb so you don't got to wake up to that. But I do recommend scanning this with the QR code. Everyone pull out your phones. We all have phones. Let's scan that and join in Alert GP just so you get notified if there's ever something happening in the city. It's a good way for us to reach out and communicate with you without you having to go on Facebook or Instagram or Google it. This is how we can directly contact you. All right. 1 second. Everybody got it? We're good? Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so we're going to move on to the Q&A section. So if anyone has questions, please walk up to this mic, grab the mic, and ask your question. All right, yes, sir. Let's do it. Let's do it. First one. Give me a softball, please.
Always. So I appreciate you doing this. We had a HOA meeting 2 or 3 weeks ago now with Kurt Johnson. And he brought in a nice, very friendly developer and said, there's a new law that you guys weren't aware of SB 840. So all those planning guidelines that you guys have outlined have now been overridden, right? So they can put in apartment complexes anywhere they want.
No.
No?
They can put apartment complex. So for cities that have a population over 150,000,
right,
they can put apartment complexes anywhere that's already zoned for industrial or commercial.
Right.
Those are the two.
So everything that's not single family home.
Everything that's not single family or, yeah, essentially everything.
So everything in Grand Prairie that's not already single family home.
A good amount of places in Grand Prairie. Yes, right, sir.
So they came in and they said, congratulations, this commercially zoned spot that you thought you were getting like a store or something, we're going to put in a 3-story apartment in the middle of your neighborhood. There's nothing you can do about it. Go ahead and write petitions if you want.
This is what we can do about it. We can lobby our state delegation, our state representatives, our state senators, and we can push them in the upcoming it'll be the 2027 legislative cycle for them to repeal this law. I say that this is very possible, and this is why.
Sure.
We had to push them on getting rid of the traveling HFCs. There's something called a Housing Finance Corporation. A Housing Finance Corporation can come in and purchase apartment complexes in the community and turn those apartment complexes into what they would call workforce housing or affordable housing.
Yeah.
Technically affordable housing. What was happening is we would have traveling HFCs from El Paso or from Brownsville come into our city and buy an apartment complex, take it off the city's tax rolls, and then quote unquote bring affordable housing. But they had 10 years to bring it. They didn't have to bring it immediately.
Yeah.
We contacted our state representatives and they changed that law in this legislative session that just concluded in May. So what we got to do is with this particular item, Senate Bill 840, we got to push them in 2027. And I think we have a decent delegation that we can contact and push both Republicans and Democrats to pass this in 2027.
Right, because they bipartisan passed this.
Yeah, it was a bipartisan.
But Representative Turner in our area is the sponsor of this bill. So he's probably not going to play ball with us, right?
Well, if the community comes out and tells him we need to change this and we speak up, I think we can.
Yeah. So they'll have already built it by then, right?
No, well, in certain areas, yes.
Right.
We can't stop certain things now, but we can get this law changed in 2027 through pushing our state representatives, our state legislators.
Okay.
And that's the direction we will have to take right now, unfortunately.
So the reason I asked that is because the city of Arlington, same boat as we're in, they're planning a ordinance that says, hey, if you override our zoning, we're going to tax you, we're going to punish you, we're going to discourage you from ignoring our zoning ordinances. Are we going to do anything similar, or are we just going to let development until our representatives maybe change their mind?
We're going to do something similar.
So we are planning something similar, because I had emailed all the city council members and the mass email, and then I got nothing back. So
I apologize
Anxious.
for not responding. I don't think I saw that email, but
Okay.
I'm gonna get your information. I'm gonna give you my card.
Love it.
Email me directly.
Okay.
Let's work on something together.
Love it. Thank
Curtis,
you.
correct?
Yeah.
Curtis, thank you so much, and
Appreciate
I appreciate you advocating.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Curtis.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am. How you doing?
Good. I'm Jessica Cunningham. I actually have a couple quick questions. I know I brought this up before, and my husband, who's fully disabled and needs total care, few years ago went to a residential care home, sometimes also referred to as border home, where we discovered every criminal thing happening possible. And so,
And I want to thank you for speaking up and advocating. And I know the law changed a bit on the state level
Yes,
regarding it because of your advocacy.
yes,
So thank you.
we got House Bill 2025, which actually criminalizes and gives law enforcement more teeth to go into these homes and save people that are senior and disabled. My next question is, Arlington has passed an ordinance for these homes, similarly to how Grand Prairie has an ordinance for the rental homes and Airbnb homes. I would really like to see Grand Prairie create the same ordinance. And, I have a copy of it right here, what is included. Just, they can be, most houses are wonderful, but the ones where there are criminal activity, we've got to put a stop to those.
If you can share that document with me, I'll
Yes,
also share
I'll
with my
leave it.
council members and staff, and we'll see what we can do to tighten that up to protect our residents in our city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My second question is, we have a pretty big sporting event coming up this summer in Arlington.
I can't wait. The World Cup. Let's do it.
So is Grand Prairie planning to do anything? I know it's in Arlington, but we are right next door. So I wonder what Grand Prairie has, if we have any plans.
Ideally, I would love one of the international teams or even Team USA, if they will look at us, to have their practice team stuff here in the city at our Mountain View Soccer Complex. Mountain Creek Soccer Complex. They probably won't because Mansfield is building something and Frisco has the FC Dallas place. But what we can do is we have a good amount of restaurants. We have a good amount of facilities where we can have watch parties for the different international games. For some of those games taking place in Arlington at the Cowboys at an AT&T Stadium, we can have watch parties at Chicken and Pickle or at I guess not the Finch, but different restaurants in the community, different restaurants in the area. And show the games live there. I know back during the 2024 or 2023 NBA Finals when the Mavs were playing, we had watch parties at Chicken and Pickle that drew crowds of hundreds of people. With this World Cup, we're looking at thousands of people that are looking for locations. And what's really good for our city, our hotels are going to be utilized at the highest level, which will bring in more revenue for our hotel motel fund through the hotel motel tax. We're going to have a lot of economic activity in the city. So we're finding different ways to capitalize upon this momentum and this economic driver that the World Cup is going to bring to our DFW area.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your questions.
Good evening. My name is Robert Walker, Grand Prairie resident for about 25 years. I have, a couple of questions. One's more of a safety concern. My house is situated just west of the Polo Fire Station and just east of Garner Fine Arts Academy. So every morning I get up for a walk or run, and on my way down to Robinson Road from Polo, there appears to be what has begun as a housing development, and it just stopped. So the sidewalk is torn up, and it's been in that condition for quite some time now. And so during my walk, I have to venture out into the street for maybe half a block and then back onto the sidewalk. And so I don't know exactly what's going on there. Did they run out of money? Did something change? But the sidewalk has been out of commission for close to 6 months now. And so that's a concern. My second concern is in our community, and I love my community. House is paid off, want to stay there. My wife is ticked because of a lack of a landlord standard. We've seen a couple of houses, maybe more than a couple, get out of control. And look, I want to stay. I'm too old to be, start a new mortgage at my age and so forth. So I'm wondering what can be done. We don't have a specific homeowners association for that pocket, but what can be done for landlord engagement to make sure that some of these properties are maintaining a certain standard?
What can you give me like a particular specific issue that you're dealing with the homes near you?
High grass, cars being worked on in
So-
the yard.
I love it.
Yeah.
Those are code violations.
Okay.
So what we'll get is we'll get Chad. Chad is back over there. We'll connect with Chad.
Which one's Chad?
Yeah.
I think it was Chad who was working on the car.
Hey, Chad. Hey, I was trying to cover for you, but hey, that's on you. So yeah, we'll connect with Chad and we'll work on that. And first issue regarding the sidewalk that's been torn up because of development. Rashad, I'll need your help on that one to figure out what happened with that project. And if they ran out of money, they need to fix the sidewalk so people can utilize it. Yeah, so we'll connect with Rashad on that one too. Thank you, sir.
Junior, thank
Yes,
you
sir.
for coming out, putting this on. Appreciate you coming out and everybody else from the city as well. First question, Curtis, this goes along your lines. Has the city looked at doing anything that Plano, Irving, any of the other cities are doing, such as Irving, made it a requirement that if you want to build an apartment complex now due to SB 840, it has to be 8 stories tall. It also has to have certain amenities to kind of detract from apartment complexes from being built. Has the city looked at anything like that instead of keeping it at the 50-foot height?
Yeah, we are currently in the process of doing that right now internally because we understand that the way that our UDC is set up, it's not going to help, I don't want to say prevent multifamily, but it's not going to discourage certain multifamily apartment developments. So we're looking at all the different options that we have because the Senate Bill 840 really put us in a tough place, but it's our job as elected officials, as lawmakers, to find a way to improve the situation and solve this problem. So we're looking at all the different options right now. We'll be able to report back to you in the next month or two.
Okay. Next question is for Chief Sesney. I made a report a couple weeks ago about people going around trying door handles and caught them on video. Got sent to a patrol officer and it was treated like a break-in, but when I told him nothing was broken into, I just wanted to get the video out there so that more patrols or anything. He said, just send me the video, I'll pass it on. I don't know if a report was given. I just want to make sure that that was the proper procedure to make sure that we try to prevent that in the future.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So short answer is I'm not familiar with this particular incident, but I'll find out. So if you would get with Chad also, he's taking some notes. But let me talk a little bit broader, if you don't mind. By the way, my colleague Rashad mentioned a National Night Out event. That was the kickoff party. National Night Out is this Tuesday. So I just want to make sure that some of you were scratching your head thinking you missed it. You have not missed it. It's this Tuesday. So there are professional thieves that will come into our community. They'll park a car, they'll get out, and they'll start pulling door handles. They're looking for unlocked cars. If it's locked, they just move on to the next one, put the stuff in backpacks and move on. Probably you saw something similar on your video if I was going to guess. Our strategy on that is a little bit different. The reason why your video is so helpful to us is twofold. One, if we've got a video of the car, we can put it into our flock system and alert officers when that vehicle comes back in the neighborhood. And then what we'll do is we set up a perimeter, we put a drone in the air, and we watch for a pattern of behavior. So in other words, if somebody's just walking down the street, there's no problem there, right? But if they're pulling door handles house by house, then once we have an effective pattern of behavior where we're looking for probable cause, then the guys are going to go in and stop them. So they're very, very good at that. Also, our officers are in really great shape, so they don't get away from us once the foot chase starts. So well, I appreciate you sharing that with us. I'm going to give you my card. I think you already know how to reach me. All right.
I've got your card.
Send me an email and the date and time or the officer, just anything that help me narrow it down, and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for your questions.
Hi, my name is Leslie May, and I live in Amesbury. And one of my questions is for the police chief. Don't run.
Yes, ma'am.
We have AT&T has been in our neighborhood, and on 3 different occasions in the last, I'm going to say 10 days, they've rung the bell. I've opened my front door. They've opened my storm door and tried to walk in. and they're wearing AT&T identification.
Yes.
Now, I've tried to call AT&T. You can't get a hold of anybody that knows anything and is willing to do anything.
Ma'am, the correct number for that issue, the tech support number is 911. You dial that.
Well, yeah, I know how to do that, but I didn't think it was.
No.
I was able to push this little dude
Ma'am,
out twice.
Let me tell you, you don't need to memorize any other number. And I don't need you to worry about whether. A lot of times our citizens worry about, is this really an emergency? It's not an emergency.
I didn't think it was.
But in therein lies the challenge. If it's important to you, it's important to us. We work for you.
Okay.
So you just dial 911. I promise you, our officers are very, very tenacious. They would love to be introduced to a person that's trying to help themselves inside your house. So call 911. You don't even need to unlock the door. Just call us. We'll verify it. If best case scenario, you have an overzealous AT&T person,
Exactly.
we're gonna get with their boss, but maybe it's not. We don't know. Let us figure that out.
Well,
okay?
I don't know if it's a bogus ID or not. There's, I can't tell.
We'll find out for you. Just dial 911. Okay.
All right. And my other question is for the code compliance man.
Go ahead. I can get it. Yep. They're under my
Abandoned
command.
cars.
Yep.
In our neighborhood, we have two.
Would you
They've
refresh my
been-
memory on which neighborhood you're talking about?
Amesbury.
Amesbury. That's the name of the street.
I reported them 3 times, and my HOA has reported them a couple of times. And they came out once and put an orange sticker on the white car.
Yep.
And they backed it up 10 feet and then put it back.
Yeah.
And
So
it's abandoned. Okay. The windows are down. It rains. It's full of water.
you, Miss May.
I am.
Okay. I have all your information. Yeah. And we're on it. Okay. So what happened is when they're playing the system. So if it's not abandoned, if somebody's got the keys and they're moving it, but I will tell you that there's a lot of other ways we can skin that cat. So if it's not registered, we can tow it off.
One of them is not registered.
Okay.
And hasn't been since 22.
So Chad and I were talking about this very issue before we started today. So we're on top of it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a question for the police chief, Sarah? All right, I'm going back.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Junior, once again for holding this. And thank you to all the directors and everybody else who've come out because I know it's after hours. So thank y'all. Can I just have a quick raise of hands of who's here for Mira-Lagos and Grand Peninsula? Yay. Thank you. Woohoo. Junior, we need your help. We need your support, my friend. We're working on getting Councilman Johnson's as well. But we did have that community meeting a few weeks ago at the Grand Peninsula Clubhouse. We are actively fighting their hybrid homes that they're wanting to put in on a parcel of land on Hanger Low. And I forget the cross street now. If it's Lake Ridge, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we really need your support in speaking up against that. I would like to invite everybody here to the next city council meeting, which I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, October 14th at 6:30 in the council chambers, because we want our voices heard. We did have 140 people sign up at that event stating whether they wanted it or not. We encouraged everybody to sign in, but 140 families or residents came out to say yes, no, maybe so. So we really just want to get y'all's input, support to fight the hybrid homes because they are not the caliber of homes that we have in our area. And if you would like to get more involved, I would encourage you to email us at gpcommunityliaisongroup@gmail.com. So once again, gpcommunityliaisongroup@gmail.com. There are a number of us who monitor that email, and we want our voices to be heard, and we really want your support, Junior, and thank you again.
Sarah, thank you, because you always advocate for the neighborhood down on the peninsula.
Yep.
We're going to work to see what we can do to support you guys. I know the law got us in a very precarious situation, but we're still going to work to see what we can to get a compromise that's not the issue that we're dealing with right now. So
Okay,
I got you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good evening. My name is Anna Coca, and I live on 5312 Throckmorton, Grand Prairie. Thank you for the whole staff, everybody, for doing this town hall meetings. They're very important, and I love to see when it's almost full. My question is for Chief.
He's back.
He's back. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm getting phone calls from parents. I'm a teacher, I'm an educator. Our Latino, our immigrant parents are calling, our teachers, our immigrant families there in Grand Prairie, they're scared.
I understand.
And they're afraid to take the kids to school, but I speak to them, I say, you're in good hands in Grand Prairie. Any updates for us, any words of encouragement for our Latino and immigrant community?
Well, first of all, I think your advice is fantastic. Imagine the damage that takes place when a child is not getting an education. Even missing a week of school is just a snowball, is incredibly difficult. I can tell you what my policy, for lack of a better term, is on this issue, which I know you know, but for anybody else's benefit. So there's a segment in the law that is called 287G that municipal police departments need to have in order to enforce immigration law. Grand Prairie Police Department is not a 287G organization. I'm okay with that, and let me explain why. Because I understand this is a very polarizing issue. Maybe people in this room may not agree with me here, okay? But let me explain my thought process. If there is a undocumented person in our community that, God forbid, is the victim of a violent crime, imagine, let's say that is a rape, okay? So can you imagine being a woman that has to try to decide whether or not you're going to report a rape because you're afraid that if you do, you're going to be deported? All right, so that's challenge one. Challenge two is, even if it's not a rape, imagine whatever the offense is, if it's something that they would consider it's not worth the risk, well, that means that the offender continues to offend and will violate both non-citizens and citizens alike, right? So I don't think anyone in our community, whether they're documented or not, wants violent offenders in our community. So our strategy has been very clear. Our officers' goal is crime fighting, and we go out and we remove violent offenders from our community. We have partnered with immigration enforcement in a couple of different ways, and then I'll give those to you. One is I had two individuals that were registered sex offenders that had sexually assaulted a child and got 10 years probation. Don't ask me, but the judge decided that the best course would be for us to monitor them for the next jillion years. Wrong. You're out of Grand Prairie. So we got them out. So we had two of those. But I have lunch once a month with all of my counterparts, both federal and municipal. And I've told the HSI, SAC, a lot of acronyms there, if for whatever reason we can assist removing violent offenders out of Grand Prairie, give me the list and we'll do that. But officers today, and as long as I have support from all of you and my counsel and my boss, our job is not to do immigration enforcement. So we're stopping a car, look, if it's a minor violation, more than likely, these officers, I've told them, I said, understand, that decision that you're making for all of us may mean a red light ticket. For somebody else may mean a completely different scenario. And I'll just say one more thing. Imagine coming here at like 2 years old. You don't know anything but the United States. And then now you're 25 and you're going to, right? I mean, it's a very complicated issue. God knows I don't have it figured out, and I'm not throwing stones on either side of the issue. I'm just telling you where my heart is today and what makes sense to me. So I hope that helps in some way. I have no sway with Uncle Sam, I promise you, but that's the way we're doing business here.
Thank you. Those are words of encouragement for our families. Thank you.
Yep, you bet. Okay, all right.
Junior and Chief, my question is about the main topic, Texas Bill 840.
That's all him, sir.
I live right behind where they want to put those homes. So I'm not happy. I don't want them. I think we're going to see an increase from petty crime to serious crime if we don't do anything. And Junior, I want to appeal to you, instead of waiting till next year to make some adjustments, I'm requesting that we come up with innovative solutions to prevent those apartments from going up. I don't know what those are because I don't have all the answers yet. But I'm appealing to you, to, I don't say Mayor Ron Jensen here, but to leadership to help us put a hold on that place. I'm paying additional $3,000 every month in property taxes. Putting an apartment or rental homes in there would ruin the layout texture of that place. So please, whatever you could do for us as leaders, put a hold on it for us.
Mr. Toyin, thank you so much for your advocacy for your community. We're going to see what we can do on all the issues citywide, because it's not just the property on Hanger Low that's going to be a problem. We have others in other parts of the city too. We're going to try to see what we can do internally to change our code to make it more difficult for them. We're working on that right now. I can't give you any hard deadlines when we'll be able to change something, but we're working on it.
I want to hear from you, Chief. Don't you think we will see an increase in crime if we let this continue?
So I'd like to answer your question this way. But before I get into crime, I'm not elected. Okay, my job is to call balls and strikes. Nothing personal, but whoever's over in City Hall, I work for them, right? Because they work for you. I can promise you, if I had a dime for every time I've heard your council working their tails off to keep apartments out of the city, I'd be wealthy. I'm telling you, their hands are tied oftentimes. So I just want to say that because I am in the back of the room and I hear them getting beat up. And buddy, they are fighting hard. Okay. So trust me when I tell you, when the guy says he's going to do everything possible, take it to the bank. That's number one. So number two, yes, anytime you have a concentration of people, you're going to have more likely to be at least greater calls for service. Now, but the crime you're talking about, not necessarily. The crimes we see most, domestic violence, things like that. Now, there are times where you have vehicle burglaries and things like that. There's no doubt. I monitor all of our calls for service every month. As I told you all, maybe at the outset, I'm a data nerd, so I look at that stuff. Most of my crime in multifamily doesn't come from our apartments. It comes from the extended stay hotel motel, like budget suites and things like that. So I know, but I get the goal. It's more of a quality of life issue. And I promise you this, they are on it. They're on it. Okay?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Chief, and thank you for the question. Before we go on to the next question, I want to make sure that I recognize our students from South Grand Prairie High School who are volunteering today. Y'all raise your hands, please. And their advisor, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let's give him a hand too. It's really cool because he emailed me, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, asking if the students could come and volunteer at the town hall. And I said, yeah, let's find out what we can have you do. So it's really cool having, our future leaders here. And guys, I was just like y'all a few years ago. I'm 26, so literally just a few years ago. And I can see y'all doing the same thing in the next few years. So anything that I can do, we can do as a city to support you, your leadership, and your growth as a leader. Let us know. And thank you so much for volunteering your time this evening. It means a lot to me. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Romeen Kavari, and I've lived in Grand Prairie for the last 40 years. This is home, and I have a few comments to make as a citizen now, and I'd like to share it with you for follow-up as well as action. The first one is the uneven pavement and rough ride south of the North Lake Ridge Bridge. It's basically due to heavy traffic along this regional thoroughfares, not only for the area, but for the region. I humbly request that this segment of roadway be prioritized to the top of the list for funding to take care of it as soon as possible. And with the overwhelming approval of the street sales tax due to such needs as this location, it will allow the citizens to see their tax dollar at work to have safe and good streets to drive on. The second one is bridge pavement spalding along the northbound lanes of the South Lake Ridge Bridge. And please look into this critical issue to address in a timely manner before.
Could you repeat that, the second one?
The second one is the bridge pavement spalding. So what's happening is that the roadway surface is basically coming off to even expose the steel that's in there. Gotcha. Some minor work has been done, but it needs to be fixed before it starts getting worse with time. Gotcha. The third one is the widening of the existing asphalt section of Hanger Low west of Lake Ridge Parkway to the widened concrete section to be included in the CIP. I know a lot of the folks over here attending from the neighborhood have mentioned about the upcoming development, and this goes along with that. And I suggest that the city widen this remaining section of the roadway to 4 lanes to serve the citizens using this roadway as part of the capital improvement CIP project. Most of the roadway is adjacent to existing ponds, and no developer will incur the cost for the roadway at their expense. I did not see this on the project listed in the current proposed 2025-26 5-year budget, and brought it up at the CIP budget hearing, but no action was taken. So I suggest that it be listed for the CIP for fiscal year 27 for design and right-of-way and construction in fiscal year 28, and any developable land be assessed for it. Otherwise, built by the possible development with city participation to include a traffic light. The next one is the completion of my driveway by replacing the remaining 2 panels to my garage. That was caused by the erosion and voids under my driveway by city separation of the service line at the city side cleanout that has been denied without providing reasons why. I also request that a formal city policy be created to deal fairly with such situations instead of placing the onerous on the paying city utility customer. And next one is a petition that has been forwarded to the city to remove the stop signs along Lagoon and Lakeland Drive. I found out through the Freedom of Information request that the city does not have a policy, which I feel it needs to have a formal policy. However, I've been told that the city uses the Texas Manual on Uniform Control Devices. Based on this document, prior to any possible police enforcement action, I have requested that a warrant study be performed to see if these signs are warranted and possibly removed if they are not needed, or to install yield signs instead based on the warrant study. Next one is tire track removal.
Mr. Kavari,
because of donuts. I just have a couple of other items which I'll forward them to you to look at. And to me, that reflects on the community. We see this all over places there. So I feel that there's got to be something more done to have those removed instead of waiting to have them removed. And next one is, I have been told by the city manager that the city has invested in Grow Me Grant, an internal training program which uses a leadership recipe. And the ingredients are humility, curiosity, knowledge, understanding, and compassion. And these values are taught to employees in supervisory roles so that they can own their skills in leadership. I also suggest adding the values of transparency as well as maintaining the lines of communication to the public. And the next 2 are sick leave policy revisions that were supposed to have been looked into for implementation that would apply.
Sick leave policy revisions?
Okay. Yes, sir.
What I want to say quickly, are there any others after those 2? I just want to make sure.
I just have 2 more, and that's it.
Are these relating to city operations?
Yes, sir.
So what we'll do is this. I appreciate you, number 1, because you came prepared. Appreciate you for coming prepared. Number 2, I know you come to the council meetings, you inform us on different things and advocate for yourself and for your community. I really appreciate that. A few of those first 3, I'll have to connect with Carol, who's over transportation, to figure out our funding in the upcoming CIP budget for fiscal year 27, as you stated. A few of the other ones, I got to check in with Bill, city manager, and city staff. I just don't want to tell you I can give you an answer to all of them today. It's going to be a work in progress between you, myself, our city council, our staff. I just want to make sure I give time to the other residents to ask their questions as well.
Absolutely. I just want to give this to you.
I appreciate it. No, thank you. And let's stay in contact on email. We'll grab lunch too.
Thank you.
We'll talk. Thank you, sir.
My name is Anthony Saucier. I'm the vice president of our PID board for Crescent Heights. And what I'm concerned with, we have I don't know why it became our private street. 12 Oaks comes from one of the streets around to Pioneer Parkway. And I understand that anything that's connected to our property is our responsibility. and the taxes that we pay, the PID taxes that we pay, is supposed to repair that. Well, it's in bad shape and on both sides, and we would certainly want to know if the city could, kind of do something to this thing on both sides, and it's got a big median in the middle, before we have to pay to do anything to it, because it's holes in it, water doesn't drain very much, and all that good stuff. And I was just wondering if there's any way that you could look into that and see if the city, because we contracted with a guy to do part of it, $46,000, and down to half our budget. So we would like to have the city do something, because what happened when the developer, our complex, Crescent Heights, is fairly new. They came in and did some work. They did some the curb's too low. And the reason the inspector told me that they allowed that was because, they were matching the existing street. Well, that thing is raggedy, and I sure would love to see if you guys could look into that and see if the city could manage that and get some of the work done, either get the people at the other, people along that street to help prepare, and we all do it at the same time, because otherwise it's just like a waste of money. It's a waste of $46,000, because we'll be able to repair some of that street, but it's not going to, it's not going to really be proper, to tell you the truth. So we'd like to get that done. If you look into that, I'd appreciate it.
Anthony, thank you for serving on your PID board. Number one, appreciate that. Usually we try to make PIDs responsible for their public spaces. I'll connect with Carol, who's over transportation. I'll see if there's something that we can do in a potential partnership with your PID. I don't want to promise, because I'm not sure. We got to look at the financials and see what's possible, what's feasible. But I'll check in with you after we do that, okay?
I appreciate it. Also, I wanted to ask about, I know you mentioned something about apartment complexes and stuff like that. I'm kind of a, small builder, more or less. I'd like to build duplexes, but I understand that y'all don't, the city doesn't permit too much of that. So I guess that they permit more of the bigger apartment buildings, but not the smaller stuff.
It depends on zoning. It's all zoning. So if the land is zoned for single family, or zoned for multifamily, or zoned for commercial, it all depends on zoning. We find it difficult to stop multifamily in an area that's already zoned for multifamily, but the law that was just passed allows multifamily in areas that are zoned for commercial and industrial. So that's why it's easier on that part. Duplexes are duplexes considered multifamily, or are they?
They are, but they, yeah. Well, we have some, because I had one in Fort Worth, but yeah.
Attached. That's what it is. Single family.
Single family attached. So that sounds like something that could be possible in some of the area.
We've had some in the Dalworth area and some other areas in the city. We've seen more duplexes come. They're still few and far between, but they are coming here and there.
I may look into it. Dude. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for your question, sir. Appreciate you.
Hi, my name is Carol, and I have a quick question. The elementary school, Mike Mosley, between Robinson and Matthew, just before you get to the school, there's a dip in the sidewalk. So you see kids, after it's raining, walking in the sidewalk where there's still buildup of water. Once the water evaporates, it's mud, basically mud. And I'm wondering what can be done to help fix that. It's been going on for years, and I know it's erosion. And I'm wondering if that can be fixed. Now I see, like on Matthew, they fixed some sidewalks on there. I would like to see that fixed too.
I'll tell you, a lot of the sidewalks that end up getting fixed in the community, in the city, are because residents like you emailed or called us. I know, Mr. Wilhide, you called me about the one in your neighborhood that led to a foot injury, an ankle injury. So yeah, it's very sad, but I think he's in physical therapy, getting better now. You've been trying, I hear you. So what I would say is, yes, we can work on that. I'll have to check in with Carol, of course, to get it put on our streets CIP for the next year. I can't give you a specific timetable as to when it's going to be fixed, but it will be a priority, especially because It could be a public safety hazard with the students that are walking home from school. We don't want anyone tripping, falling, and hurting themselves. So we'll make sure that we bump that up. And if you can stick around after the meeting, I want to collect your information, or Carol will get it, so we can start working on that immediately.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, Junior.
How you doing?
Iris Hudson. I live at Royal Estates, which is right off of Kirby Brook and Great Southwest, where they're doing all that building on those two spaces. Now, folks, I hope on your Saturdays you are able to enjoy sleeping in, because I do not. Matter of fact, I went over and talked to the foreman, and he said by law or whatever, they could start working at 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. Well, every morning from Monday through Saturday, they show up about 6:30, and at 7 o'clock, you got all the noise. And I can complain because they're right behind my house. Okay. All I'm asking is, can they start at 8 o'clock?
Chad, what is
so
our
get some sleep.
what are the rules on the books regarding that?
Okay, and then the second thing is, they did not notify us that they were going to close our blocks down. We had to figure out a way to get home because Longbow is blocked off. The Pine Valley next street is blocked off. So we have to, maneuver around to get out of our neighborhood. And the streets are it's a mess. It's just a mess. So, I mean, can they start at 8 o'clock? I'll be happy with that.
We'll get them thrown in jail, man. What's the next problem? No, just kidding, just joking. I think they're grading, and they're under a grading permit, as I understand. That's not news you want to hear. Does that sound right, Noreen? You're not sure? Okay. Ma'am, can you get with Chad, and we're going to get your information down, and we'll see. I think your information is pretty spot on.
Yeah.
And that's not good news, I know, but let me see what we can do. Okay.
Okay. And then one other thing. Now, I know this project was supposed to happen a couple of years ago, and we thought, well, maybe they changed their mind because they didn't do it when they said they were going to do it. Then the next year they didn't do it. We're like, okay, it's all over with. Then all of a sudden in March they show up. So they did not notify us that they were going to start. That would have been really nice if they had notified us that they were going to start. Then everybody would have been ready for it. 2 of my neighbors had dementia. They had to be moved out because of the noise factor. So tell them they need to be good neighbors.
I don't disagree. I want to speak about that last one about them not notifying y'all. Way that the city does it, throughout history, and maybe we need to change this in the near future. Whenever they're going through the site plan process or the zoning process, that's when they'll send the stuff in the mail, letting you know, come to City Hall, decide if you want to, lobby council for it or against it. I don't think we have anything on the books that says whenever they begin construction, notify the residents within 300 feet. But maybe this is something that we need to look at in the future. And you dealing with it at 7 a.m. on a Saturday sounds terrible. So I definitely get where you're coming from, and we'll look at future ordinance amendments to see what we can do to improve the quality of life. Okay. Do we have any other questions? Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm just Bolar. I just want to bring the attention about the mass mailers that they like a HEB or Kroger. They're all over the place. They're not in the driveway or they in the bushes, in the middle of the 2 houses. So I think the issue is with the vendor who throw out the flyers, they put on the street or any place. And then some of the homeowners, they don't pick them up. So it's really a big mess. So can the code compliance can do something? At least contact the vendor to tell them to, distribute that in the driveway.
Chad, what can we do on that? Where's Chad at? Oh, he stepped out. Chief, what can we do? Can we push these private vendors to properly distribute their literature?
I mean, I have seen flyers for 3 weeks,
all over the place.
Yep.
And then you said neighbors are not picking it up. Yep. And I don't want to criminalize I want to penalize neighbors for not.
I mean, it's a
picking it up.
50-50. Okay.
Yeah, it's a partnership.
Working on 2 speaker ago problem, so I missed the first part of what
Okay.
you were saying.
You know,
I think the gist of it was you have solicitors are coming out and doing door hangers, and then they end up getting blown around.
not door hangers.
Oh.
You know, those HEB, those plastic sleeves.
Oh, with the paper inside.
Yes.
Yeah, that's annoying. I know. So we've tried very hard to get them to knock that off. They have certain rights to do that, just like they're throwing the Dallas Morning News, right? But the difference is with the Dallas Morning News or whatever newspaper, you subscribe to it. But these folks just indiscriminately put them out. Chad, this is definitely I need some help on this one. The question is regarding the folks that put the newspaper in the plastic and throw it at every single house, whether you have a subscription or not. Anything we can do about that?
Well, we've reached out to them multiple times. Haven't gotten very far, but if you look at the bottom of the paper, there is a way to unsubscribe down there.
No,
I
there's
think it's a website. You can go in there and put in your information.
His problem is not necessarily himself. It's that neighbors end up not picking up the paper. It just becomes a public nuisance, and it just it detracts from the beautifying of the community. So he's wondering, what can we do to require the distributors to probably distribute the literature, the newspapers, like maybe in front of the
proper place. Yeah, in the driveway or something like that. Yeah.
The short answer is I don't know, but I'll find out. Let me see. I've got really smart people. Let me see if we come up with some kind of creative recommendations to put in front of the council.
Okay.
But right now, the first 2 swings we've struck out, but we're not out yet. So
I thought maybe they needed a permit from the city to
No, sir.
get
They
the
don't.
permission to
But we'll work on it.
Okay,
I
thank you,
promise.
sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any question? Great question, because you beat us. We ain't know. Great question, though. Do we have any other questions left? Any questions from online? Okay, no problem. Well, they can email me or we can talk to them later. Just want to say thank you to everyone that came out this evening. Really appreciate you all spending your evening with me. That means a lot to me. It means y'all really like me. I appreciate that. But thank y'all again for just being engaged with our community, with our city. If you didn't get one of my business cards, they should be out there. And I have my volunteers, my great volunteers from South Grand Prairie High School, distribute them again. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. But just thank you for coming out. Let's keep working in our community. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.